What's up? What's up? Yep, I wanted to do a little different today. Excuse me. Still on the Cowboys loss. Um, just a few things I just wanted to dive into a little further because that loss was so disappointing, detrimental. Left us all with questions on what happened, who we blaming. Well, we blaming everybody, right? Nobody's excluded. First of all, shout out to my boy Boomer for showing support, even though um, he's a Packers fan and he avoided that smoke. He didn't jump on and hey, I'm glad he didn't. But then I had to be answering to the shit I was talking about the Packers, and how I really felt. But now I can come in humbly and just be like, yeah, we just lost. I ain't got to answer all the bullshit I was saying about them. But I will say, yeah, they a rebuilding team. Didn't think a rebuilding team would walk in or back theyself into the playoffs and beat us. I didn't think we'll get a repeat of what the Giants did to us back when Mike Strahan was running this defense and Eli was throwing to Plexico. And Justin Tuck and the rest of them boys, Chris Canty was on our ass. I ain't know we was going to get a repeat of that, but it wasn't exactly like that, but it was something like it. Offensively, we refused to make any adjustments to the alignments they were in. Um, Running game, we always seem to ignore it. We ignored the importance of having a feature back at the beginning of the season, during the season, when it was opportunity to maybe get into like a Derrick Henry sweepstakes. They decided that we was too good for that. We're gonna keep on spending on our own players, and it's something that they've adopted here maybe the last 5 to 10 years or so, maybe a little bit longer. We went from trying to sign guys in free agency to kind of help us get over the top, whether it worked or not, or trade for guys, whether it worked or not, it was something that we was willing to do to get us over the top. But now we just don't have that same energy. A lot of it has to do with who's calling the shots now. Jerry is the face of the organization, but Stephen Jones is pretty much the guy that is calling the shots. I'm sure Jerry can veto him, if he's willing to put up a fight, but they may have some type of agreement, where Stephen is really the guy behind these decisions. You can just listen to the media and interviews, and even when Stephen speaks, you can tell. You can go back to the T.O. situation, what he said Jerry was telling him, maybe even the Dez situation. You can go back to then, and you can see Stevens had an impact on the makeup of this team. I just said that because I know a lot of people like to throw the Jerry out there, and I'm not saying he don't deserve any blame. Everybody does, again, because of the way the organization is ran and the lack of preparation that was shown during this playoff. So that goes on the coaches. When it comes to preparation, players got to be held accountable for the missed tackles, the blown coverages, not knowing when to rotate, when to roll your coverage, not identifying or taking the right angles on a few of those plays, especially though the screen play when Buddy was running straight down the line in motion, and then they throw it to him, and linebackers running right into the block. Like, take an angle and try to split them or meet them past the blocks. Don't get caught up in the block because now you one less player that's able to make the play. And you the first one to see what's happening. Um, they're just late to react. The reaction. Everybody is just, I don't know, they're just playing like robots. No self-awareness of what's going on and just seeing things. Although I'm called in this coverage, I see what's developing right here. I'm going to have to come out of that so I can make a play because we need a play made. People were saying that the offense, and I think I said that in the previous video, offense was killing the defense because they weren't staying on the field. Defense has a responsibility themselves, whether the offense is playing well or not, to make stops. they getting 3 and outs, then hey, we should be forcing them into 3 and outs too, and putting our offense into a better field position. But instead of getting drove down the field, we can't say, well, it's the offense's fault because the defense failed, or vice versa. Both sides failed to do what they needed to. Yeah, the offense picked up second half of the second half, but it's what they always do. It's too late, you know. Some of that is them kind of letting up and just not trying to get anybody hurt, so people are not playing with that same intensity and the same coverage. It goes vanilla. Um, but yeah, big disappointment. I expect changes at the top. I'm not saying Mike McCarthy didn't do a good job, but the job wasn't hasn't been good enough. You know, you haven't even. It'd be one thing if you had an NFC Championship appearance or win a Super Bowl appearance or something, but continuously to get to the regular season and be successful in the playoffs, it just falls apart because of, again, lack of preparation. It's not a good look, because then nobody's going to trust you and nobody's going to care about the product until the playoffs next season, unless you bring them something different to look at. Um, so yeah, that's how I feel about it. Um, it's crazy how the Packers were able to scheme guys open. First reads were open. Jordan Love looking like Dak should have, throwing the open guys. And it's just really a lot of them were first reads. Some of them weren't, because he was having to keep the ball. So that's on the D line, no penetration. Can't blame the coaches because the D linemen not getting off their blocks, getting to the quarterback. Um, that's crazy. But yeah, it's a lot to complain about. A lot of things that could have went better, or we could have done better, that we failed to. And now the Cowboys on the couch, and we thinking about next season. Dan Quinn shouldn't be the head coach next season. Neither should Mike McCarthy, in my opinion. But again, that's on the organization and who they choose to move forward with. Just hoping, we go a different direction. And that's no doubt, man. Let's see. Hold on real quick. Let's see what we got. Again, shout out to my boy for sharing this stuff. Excuse me, boy, I've been under the weather. So my voice coming in and out. That's why I hadn't made a video really yesterday. I just threw something together. And I had made a pregame video and sharing what I thought could happen. And it kind of happened. My worst fears occurred. The players I said needed to step up and probably would have a good game. Like Ferguson had a good game. I mentioned Gallup. I would like to see him step up, and kind of did. But I felt like I didn't want to see our team get into the position of where they know they saying they playing for their coach. They're playing for themselves, but you don't see that kind of intensity until the second half when it's too late. That was what I was saying. Didn't want to see that because we see it too often. Things pick up in the second half. They say they can save 9.5 million by cutting Gallup. And what are we gonna do with that 9.5? Is just to sign somebody else on the team, or are we really gonna be more active? Uh, Not that anybody said, but yeah, we should be more active in bringing in people from the outside to help get this team over the top. Not just draft picks, you know. Definitely got to be more active in free agency. You know, not just bargain spenders, penny pinching. And that's why, again, go back to the Jerry Jones thing. Jerry wasn't known for penny pinching. That seemed more like a thing that's been adopted. We've done because Steven, and we trust in Will McClay scouting in the draft. But somebody needs to be scouting NFL players um, that can make impacts. And I know we've done well sometimes bargain spending, But yeah, we can't continuously rely on that when we got positions of need out there, especially at running back, um, linebacker, and we definitely need to make sure we get deeper on our line. So we got a decision about Tyron Smith. What are we gonna do? So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting 3-4 weeks coming up. Dak said he sucked that night. Yeah, he did for a big part. If you really want to get into something and somebody break it down, take a look at Kurt Warner breaking down those interceptions, breaking down the play design. How the play design is just, oh man, it's atrocious. Especially with those double slants and triple slants. I hate those. And especially when dudes is cutting at the same time or running at the same type of depth. Makes that tough a little bit harder and it read a little bit tougher. And on top of that, when you incorporate or add a bit of a play fake and before you even throw it on a quick slant, it's just supposed to be quick. So don't add on because now your quarterback's eyes have been taken off of what he needs to be seeing, a lot of times. Sometimes they still looking downfield when they make their play fake, but um, yeah, if you're looking right where you about to throw it, then that's even more if I'm a safety, I'm reading your eyes. So I think that's what led to that second interception. But Kurt Warner broke both interceptions down great. Shout out to him and his um, expertise. Call guys like that experts, not the dudes that just go to college for journalism or some type of communication degree where they can get online on radio or on TV and speak. But they've never played the sport. Didn't care about the sport that much until it was time to talk about it. Uh, People that played it and have that playing experience, I tend to call those more the experts based off of their knowledge. You still got to have the knowledge. A lot of people that play football still don't have the knowledge. They just played. But Kurt Warner, very knowledgeable about play art, play design, and quarterbacking. So look at that. You need something to take a look at. If you want to learn more about football and not just be a Monday morning couch coach and you critiquing things after the fact, or you just looking at the TV and basing everything off of that. It's hard to tell what's going on and who was at fault unless you can look at that all 22 film. So Cowboys fans, let's get more invested into that. That way we're more knowledgeable about what's happening. Again, some fans are just fans. They just here to react to the good stuff and the bad things, but they're not keeping up to the stuff with what's happening in between. Um, so that's what's up. But that's all I got. I ain't gonna hold you. Just wanted to chop it up a little bit more about it. If I think of something else I need to add in, I will. Definitely get back into some boxing. Got some things to discuss. I seen Clarissa and Alicia ran into each other at the airport. That was pretty cool. I love the energy that Clarissa had there, the smiling. They both, but it just seems, like it's still some animosity at this point, which, hey, that's between them. But still would like to see that fight. And then a few other things. Joshua and Ngannou, whatever his name is, Francis. And then Joseph Parker and the guy that I thought Wilder, or people were saying Wilder was going to fight from Japan. Yeah, but that's it. I'm going to get on up out of here.